Ain't Fuerteventura brilliant? Well, welcome to Fuerteventura. Thought I'd do a quick video on my 5 favourite things about living here. Number 1 has got to be the climate. The weather is just lovely here all year round. It's never cold in winter and it's never really too hot in summer. It perhaps is around late 20s, 28 to 35 in the summer on average, and in the winter 19 to 22 degrees. Sometimes a little less. Even at night the temperature really doesn't get down below 10 degrees. That's be the lowest ever. As well as living here for the past 3 years, I've actually been coming here for the winters for the last 6 years, I think it is. And what you can say about the winters here is, on the worst day here, it's better than the best day in England during the same period. One of the funny things about living here now is that when we do get the occasional rain, and it's only 8 or 9 times a year, I actually quite enjoy it. When I used to walk my dog in the UK, I'd probably, in the winter particularly, I'd get wet 2 or 3 times a week, I suppose. Well, I've been walking dogs here now for 3 years, and I've got wet once, and that was last week. And at the moment it's 6 o'clock in the evening, it's the middle of March, and just look. Fantastic. In the UK, it rains all the time. The only thing you can really depend on is you can't depend on the weather. You can't make plans. You can't say, right, Sunday we're going to go do something outside, because it'll probably be pouring with rain. You can't say, right, Saturday we're going to have a barbecue, because it'll be raining. Here, you can do that. You can say, right, in 2 weeks' time on Tuesday we're going to have a barbecue and invite our friends over, and the weather will be great. And another bonus about living here with this climate is health. People tend to live longer. We have friends that suffer with asthma and arthritis. In the UK they're always taking medication. Over here, often they don't at all. Oddly, one of the biggest hazards to health here, I think, are tourists. If you frequent bars where tourists go, so many of them end up with colds because they catch them on the aircraft coming over. Because you only need one person on an aircraft to have a contagious cold, and it gets spread to everybody. Number 2, cost of living. I mean, it's definitely cheaper to live here than it is in the UK and lots of other parts of Northern Europe. For example, the council tax we pay on this house costs us per year about as much as it costs us for 6 weeks in the UK. And for that we get everything we used to get in the UK. We get the rubbish collected, we get the streets are lit, the roads are maintained, there's all the other services you'd expect. There's local swimming baths and other amenities. And in fact, once a year we can go to the local plant nursery run by the council and get 10 free plants per person. If you were to go to a garden centre and buy those, they probably cost you about half of what we pay in council tax per year. And that certainly doesn't happen in the UK. Petrol and diesel is about 60% of what you pay in the UK. I don't smoke or drink, but cigarettes are about 25% of the price that they are in the UK, and I would say alcohol is probably 50% cheaper. Even in bars, the cost of buying a drink is at least half, and when you bear in mind that things like spirits, it's half the price and the measures are probably twice as big, that's quite good value. And another thing I like is the landscape. Fuerteventura's landscape is a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. when I first brought Sue here 20 odd years ago for a holiday, she thought I brought her to the moon because it was so barren. But the more you come, I think the more you see subtle changes when there's rain and what have you, you grow to love it. There's all sorts of things here, from mountains to volcanoes to dry riverbeds like this I'm walking at the moment, sand dunes, there's fabulous beaches, spectacular coastline, clear water. What more could you ask for? Although there are volcanoes here, none are actually active. I think the last eruption was either 100,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. They are quite interesting to walk up to. Some of them you can actually walk up to the top and look down into the cauldron. Particularly if you've got a 4x4, then there are just so many places you can explore here. You can be miles from anybody. I mean, for instance, here in the riverbeds, it's rare that I ever see anybody on our walk, and we must walk for a good hour. Number 4 on the list is the informality and relaxed way of life. For many years I had to wear a suit and tie for work and be smart most of the time, which frankly I don't like. Here I wear shorts and a t-shirt the whole year. If we go for a meal, then shorts is an acceptable form of dress in pretty much all restaurants, bar 1 or 2, and frankly they're probably restaurants I wouldn't want to eat in anyway. It's a mecca for windsurfers and kiteboarders and just plain surfers, and every year there's a number of World Championship events held here in various of those disciplines. Even I go for a swim here when we actually go to the beach, which isn't very often. You wouldn't get me doing that in the UK. And finally, number 5 is the people and lifestyle here. Pretty much everybody's very friendly. The local Canarians are very friendly, polite people. If you walk down the road, then everyone will say hello, good morning, good afternoon to you. The expats, well, they've chosen to live here, so they're generally happy because of that. And the last group of people is the holidaymakers. Well, they're on holiday, so of course they're happy. One thing that was noticeable when I lived in the UK was if and when you finally got a couple of really nice sunny days, then everybody's mood changed. Everyone was much happier because of the weather. Well, here it's sunny all the time, so people are generally happier all the time. Even me, and Sue would say, I'm always moaning. There's very little crime here. You rarely hear of a burglary or anything like that. The other thing you don't get here is groups of teenagers. You rarely see a teenager, actually. In the UK you get mobs of them hanging around outside shops and what have you, not necessarily committing crime, but being a general nuisance and a bit intimidating. Here that just doesn't happen. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, please give me a thumbs up. Ask any questions you may have in the comments section. I'm happy to answer any questions. And subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'll do a few more of this type of video about the things that I don't necessarily like about the island, etc. In later videos. Okay? Thanks. Bye bye.